Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how we set up brand new WordPress websites in order to be built so that it's technologically superior in terms of SEO. So to start, we're going to come into our hosting account. We would buy a new domain name, or we would use a client's current domain name, or we would work on a staging site. It doesn't really matter. To start, I always come into File Manager after I've already installed WordPress. And the very first thing that I do, go into the public HTML folder. And I'm going to find the WP config file here. There we go. And I'm going to edit it. And I'm going to scroll down here. And just above one of the last lines where you see abs path, you are going to put in this line of code here, just above it. You're going to say define, open bracket, WP post revisions with the single quotations and underscores, comma 3. What this does is so with WordPress, they now store all of your revisions and save it. And it's basically like duplicating the pages over and over again. So we want to limit this because it essentially, WordPress has infinite revisions, which makes your website really, really slow because it just adds in all of these duplicate pages every time you make a single change. So we want to limit the amount of revisions to just 3. You can even make it smaller if you really want. It doesn't really matter. So that's the very first thing that we do. We go set up that. Under security, we always want to make sure we have HTTPS enforce on. So the SSL manager should also be installed. You should do Let's Encrypt on here. You can do premium ones as well, but I just go with Let's Encrypt for most sites. And then as far as that's the only thing we need to do in the backend. Oh, sorry. We also need to add Cloudflare into the backend on all of our websites. This adds a www dot to your website and domain. And then I like to turn on things like JavaScript auto minify, CSS auto minify, HTML auto minify. This just helps create your styling and HTML files and make sure that they're nice and small and load fast. The www. The Cloudflare CDN, what this does is this allows you to actually pull your website from servers that are close to you, which again helps with your website load quickly. Looks like we have some DNS checks fails here, so I'm gonna have to come back to make sure that this is properly installed. Maybe it's not. Here, let's do this. So I might have to go in and check my CNAME records. So that is something that I might have to do to make sure that this is set up properly. And that would be found in the DNS zone editor. So I won't do that right now in this video because I want to make this video relatively short. But that's what you do to first set up your website. Then I'm going to go to the actual website backend. So I'm going to log in, and you can see here that we are loading the proper site, HTTPS and semicolon www dot. It's also good to know that sometimes the SSL, so the HTTPS, and the Cloudflare, the www dot, does take a few hours, sometimes even days, in order for it to propagate across the web. So don't be surprised if you set up your SSL and then your website is still showing that it's not encrypted. That's pretty normal. Just wait a little bit. The first thing I do, though, is I come in after I've set up my WordPress install and I delete all the plugins. The only plugins that I want, I don't even need this one, but the plugins that we're going to get is Rank Math SEO. We add in Rank Math SEO Pro as well. I'm going to get Sitekit by Google, which is Google's version of Sitekit, which connects you to Google Search Console, Google Analytics, even Google AdSense, lots of different Google products. SiteGround Optimizer already comes installed with SiteGround WordPress installations, and I like keeping that on. Helps minimize all the files, optimize the images. SiteGround Security, I already set that up, but we want that to be set up. WP Forms is optional. I'm probably going to deactivate it for this site because I don't really think we need it yet. But I might leave it up for now. I'm not too sure yet. Okay, so the other plugins that I've already installed here, but you could delete. So the My Theme Shop, I start off by adding in the theme for the WordPress. Currently, for most of our sites, we like to use Schema by MyThemeShot. It's a very, very fast loading website. And the next thing I do, similar to the plugins, is I come in and I delete all the other WordPress themes that we're not using. All these extra plugins, all these extra themes, they add a bunch of files into your website, and it all slows down your website. So it slows down how quickly your website can load. So Schema by MyThemeShot has been the fastest non-custom developed theme that I have tested out. There is also some new ones that I'm interested in trying. I think it's called Gutenpress or something like that. Gutenpress. But anyways, I use my theme shop for now, the Schema theme there. We have Rank Math Pro installed, and Rank Math, and most of these plugins will walk you through a wizard and you set everything up. What you see here, this other plugin, this is Stackable Gutenberg Blocks Premium. So previous to 2018, WordPress was a very, very bad website builder. And so there were all these plugins and themes that you could build on top of WordPress that would allow you to build beautiful sites. WordPress has had significant changes over the last couple of years. And so now WordPress creates all these different new pages, and they all have, they operate with what's called the block editor or Gutenberg. And so you can see this looks like nothing like the classic WordPress editor. And what Stackable does is it adds this design library. So you can come in here, UI kits, and you can pick all these different pre-designed templates out, and you can just add it in, and then your page is basically going to look just like you see in the WordPress editor. So this is pretty big. You also have to do some editing with content layout, make sure it's full width stretched. Default sidebar, always go no sidebar. So you do things like that, you save it, you'll go and look, and your site will look pretty much just like the page that you build here. So that's the way we build the fastest loading WordPress themes, is where we actually add in stackable blocks or Gutenpress blocks. I think it was Gutenpress. I've tried a couple other plugins and they don't seem to be as fast. But anyways, that's a basic setup and install for a nice, brand new, clean WordPress site. On top of this, we are going to have some pages that need to be created. So it depends on if you're a non-e-commerce business, we need an About Us, Contact Us, a home page that we're not trying to rank for anything other than the brand name. And then we also need a privacy policy page. Sometimes you can include a terms and condition or something else, a refund policy, if that is applicable to the business. But yeah, other than that, that's pretty much how we set up a nice, brand new, clean WordPress site. I also like to come in too, because some plugins will add default media in. And one of the big things with media, so this file here, 49 kilobytes, that's actually small, that's good. But 1000 by 750 pixels. I usually like to delete any additional media if it's not really small and optimized. For image sizes, we are always shooting for under 150 kilobytes. We don't always get that, especially with some images, but sizing, if I usually go for 900 width-wise pixels, and then 72 DPI for the resolution. And then usually that gets you around the 100 to 300 kilobytes, which is a pretty good size. Anything that is ridiculously oversized, like in the megabytes, delete those for sure. It's just not even worth trying to optimize it. We really want the images to be small in size, and JPEG files are less bulky than PNG files. That's a little bit of basic information about SEO and how you set up a brand new clean website. One other thing under plugins here. So I reviewed over all these. The one plugin that I'm missing is, so the My Theme Shop updater that comes with the schema, and it just automatically updates the schema theme. Rank Math SEO is how we adjust what is displayed in Google search results for each page. Sitekit by Google, I already explained that. SiteGround Optimizer, already explained that. You can set those both up here by going to the dashboards and adding in the security. I also usually, WP Forms, the one plugin that I'm missing here is a header and footer scripts installation. So I'm going to do header and footer script. I'm going to search for that in plugins. I have used this one before. I think this is the one I usually use. There's a couple other ones I use. HFCM is another one. I'm just going to add this one in here. Oh, wait, last update 2 years ago. So one thing when you're getting plugins, this concerns me here. Last updated 2 years ago. That means they're just not keeping up, the developers, with this plugin. So I'm actually going to delete this plugin. And let's go with HFCM, which I've used before. Last updated 1 month ago. So that means it's keeping updated with all the software. So I'm going to activate that. And that adds a new tab in here. I'm going to delete that other one. But what HFCM does is it allows me to add snippets into just a single page or a single blog post anywhere across the site. You pick a different page. This is where I usually add in any custom built schema or hreflang. So that's kind of a technical SEO piece. And yeah, that's it for the basic fast loading SEO optimized WordPress site setup. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more videos like this, hit subscribe and you can find out how we build all of our websites.